All right, guys, welcome back to another video. So today I kind of just wanted to take the time to kind of go in depth in explaining where we're at with the Civic and what we've done with the Civic. So I've done videos like this already, a couple of them. One of them was a very detailed price breakdown of where we were at the time, which was the complete turbo setup. And then the other one was kind of just a step-by-step of what we've done with the Civic. Now, I do have every single thing we've done on the Civic, from being stock to being turboed to where we're at now, is documented on the channel. I have a detailed video on every single part of it. So you can go back through and literally follow each one and do exactly what I've done up to this point. So just to give you a very brief rundown of, well, I guess not brief, but just for those of you that are new to the channel, to give you a rundown of the Civic. It is a 1997 Honda Civic. It's a DX coupe. So it has the D16 Y7 engine in it. I do have the Y8 intake manifold, not the Y8 head, but the Y8 intake manifold. So no VTEC, Y7. I threw the Y8 intake manifold on there just because those are a little better for boost. You don't have that 90-degree turn going down into it, and they just look so much better in my opinion. So I don't really want this video to be a detailed walkthrough on each part that we've done, like for the actual turbo itself, because I've already done that. So go look at that video. This video I want to really kind of talk about the tuning part of it. So we turboed this Civic with zero electronic tuning. We still have the OEM, the factory ECU, and as far as the engine goes, the engine is completely stock. So brief rundown of the turbo. We have a max speeding, it's a very, very budgetary build. We have a max speeding rods turbo, and then all the supporting parts are off eBay or Amazon. So I've got a Rev 9 wastegate. I've got a, what else do we have? So we have the turbo, we have the wastegate. I'm not running a blow-off valve. I have an eBay special intercooler with intercooler kit that was for a Civic. I did have to modify a couple parts of it. I have the top mount log cast manifold. Bottom mount is a little more ideal because your turbo drain is better. I think they make more downpipes for that style, but I really wanted the top mount manifold because I wanted you to open the hood and boom, there's the turbo. Yeah, so, and honestly, that's kind of the theme of this build. If we were doing this for absolute power, we'd be tuning it and not doing the budget way. We did this build because I wanted to turbo a car. I thought it looked cool and I thought it sounded cool. And whatever power came along with it, awesome. I really just wanted to do it. And that's what we did. So as far as exhaust, I bought a cheap 2.5-inch stainless kit off of Amazon that came in different various bins. And I just cut that, tack welded it here, and then I had my buddy who's a welder finish weld it. That was pretty cool. I never would have thought of doing something like that myself, but we did it. And if I can do it, most of you guys can do it. So anyway, try not to get off track here. So yeah, there's all the parts. It's very simple. I mean, it's an extremely, we got the, I think it was a glow shift sandwich plate to go between the oil filter and the block. That's where we ran our turbo feed. Turbo drain obviously comes out of the turbo, goes to your oil pan. All the normal boosted Civic stuff, you know, we didn't really do anything earth shattering, except for the tuning side of things. Now, This, don't get me wrong, it's not earth shattering. A lot of you have done it. A lot of you have commented on it. A lot of you have commented and really helped me out with this thing, and I hope you continue to do so. But yeah, so this is a very old school way of doing it. So let's go ahead and get into the fueling, the tuning part of all that. So first, what I did was I got a Blocks Racing FMU, fuel management unit. It's a 12-to-1, so the more boost your car sees, the more it closes off your fuel return, forcing more fuel out of your injectors. So there's our tuning right there. Like that's it. Now, when I first threw that on there, the car was still running lean. It was running fairly lean. So after that, we installed a 255 Suabru fuel pump, drop-in fuel pump. That made the AFRs look very good. I mean, almost perfect. Not completely perfect. It was still inconsistent. But I was really happy when we added that in. Now, when I had that, I had already purchased Y8 injectors. So I'm probably gonna get this wrong. I think the Y7 injectors are either 160 or 180 cc, and then the Y8 injectors, I believe, are 240 cc. You guys will correct me if I'm wrong, but they're somewhere right around there. But we threw the Y8 injectors in there, and obviously it was super, super rich, which I'd rather it be rich than lean, because if you're lean, you're gonna overheat your cylinders and blow them up. Now, if you're rich, that will also cause some problems, but in my opinion, the problems with rich are not nearly as catastrophic. They can be, but not nearly as catastrophic as being lean. So anyway, we threw the Y8 injectors in there, very rich. So the car still ran good. I'm just simply looking at the the wideband numbers. So we took those back out, put the Y7. Did we do it like that? What did we do next? No, I believe we left those in. So we then put a Evil Energy air or fuel pressure regulator on, adjustable fuel pressure regulator. So we got rid of the OEM regulator and put an external adjustable regulator on there to where we could raise or lower fuel pressure. I messed around with that a little bit, but in the middle of that, I was having an issue where I would go out, I would do one pull, and the car would stay extremely rich, like I was doing a full pull. Now I feel like I kind of got lucky in solving that. I happened to just take the FMU apart, and there was a little dimple on the like shim plate on the FMU, which was causing the FMU to not pull back open. It was staying closed like it was seeing full boost, and I guess it wasn't able to see enough vacuum to pull it back open. So Blocks Racing sent me a completely brand new FMU. Huge shout out to those guys, really honoring their product. And yeah, that was awesome. So I got that back, installed it. I still didn't know if that was completely the issue. I installed it and it worked perfect. So back to where we were. So back to the adjustable fuel pressure regulator. I was trying to adjust that to fix this issue. Come to find out that wasn't the issue. The issue was the FMU. So got that back, car was running good. So then I believe after we installed the adjustable regulator, and everything was working good, we were still running fairly rich because we had Y8 injectors in there. Now, some of you have commented and said you need to run a Y8 ECU so the car knows what to do with the injectors, and that completely makes sense to me. I'd say that would be a great step. However, I'm still wanting to keep the factory ECU just to keep that theme. In my mind, if I'm going to be spending money on an ECU, even if it's only $100, I might as well go all the way and get a tunable ECU with Hondata or a standalone or something. Now, obviously, I know that's going to be more expensive, and I know at that point I'm introducing having to have it tuned, but that was just kind of my thought process. And I'm not, maybe I will go that route sooner than later, get a Y8 ECU, but let me come back. So, still running rich with those injectors, which made sense to me. So, I think at this point we switched to the Y7 injectors. And yes, we switched to the Y7 injectors, back to the regular ones, the OEM ones. And at idle, the AFR was 14.7 most of the time. Now it was very inconsistent. It was running, it was going rich, it was going lean, it was going perfect. It was just all over the place at this time. So come to find out, thanks to you guys, I was only running the upstream O2 sensor. Obviously the wideband and the upstream O2 sensor. Now, I didn't realize this is how these cars worked. You have to have all of your O2 sensors, your upstream and your downstream, because the car is a closed loop circuit, closed loop system, and it has to see all the components to make the correct adjustments. So the car wasn't I don't know if it was making any adjustments, but if it was making some, they just weren't good, or they weren't accurate. So I then took my downpipe out. Mind you, does not have a cat. So my front O2 sensor is up at the top, and then my downstream one is at the back right before it would bolt to your mid pipe, right before the flange. So got a bung welded in there, bought 2 brand new O2 sensors because they're like 20 bucks on Amazon, which was nice. And now you can get expensive ones. I didn't. This is a freaking Honda Civic budget build. So got that installed, unplugged the battery for a while, let the ECU reset, started it up. Once it learned itself, it was absolutely perfect. Idling perfect, which it should, because it's not seeing boost, it's not seeing random tuning. It should be perfect, and it was. So then I drove it, and it was still perfect, and I was extremely happy with it. So next step was to install a manual boost controller, because we at the time were only running off of a 5-pound wastegate spring. So we were running between like 5 to 6.5, 7 pounds of boost at a full pull. And I had read that these stock blocks will handle 10 pounds of boost just fine. So bought a manual boost controller off of Amazon, threw that on, and we also went and got a timing light so that we could retard timing a little bit. That way we weren't getting detonation, and we were just on the safe side. So my timing was actually way advanced when I did this. I backed it off. I backed it off multiple degrees. I retarded it multiple degrees, and the car didn't run that good. So then I brought timing up a little bit, which kind of put it perfectly in time, which confused me a little bit, I think, because it should be able to be retarded a little bit. So I don't know if I have something else going on there, but anyway, the car's pretty much in time, maybe a degree off. And we threaded the boost controller all the way out just to make sure I didn't blow anything up, and then I just kept turning it. We went for a drive, I kept turning it down, 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 till I started to see the boost raise. So finally got it to raise. I went overboard and the freaking boost shot way up. I let off right when I saw 10. Okay. It went up. But it would have kept going and there'd probably be a chunk of rod laying on the road. So luckily I caught that in time, backed it off. Long story short, we got it right at 10. Now in that video, it was raining outside, so I was getting absolutely zero traction. So we didn't really get to feel how the car felt, but we could see how the numbers were reacting in boost and everything looked fantastic. Even at 10 pounds of boost, our AFRs were right around like 10 or 11. So, I mean, I was very surprised that the car was running this good with no tuning. So, we did that, and yeah, I was like, okay, we're kind of done here. So now I just want to get some more driving under the belt and see how everything holds up, how everything reacts, if the car blows up, you know, all that. So next day I drove it to work, did a bunch of pulls to work, ran amazing all the way to work. And then when I got in it to come home, I was doing the same thing, and about a third of the way home, the car got very, very lean. I didn't know if I had an injector go out, because I know that running an FMU with these Y7 injectors is very hard on the injectors because they're not meant to have this much fuel sprayed out of them. So it was really pushing them. I mean, those at 100 and something % duty cycle, I mean, they were being pushed. So I'm like, okay, I think an injector may have went out. I think it was bad all the way home. I mean, it was sputtering. It was only decent AFRs when I had the engine under load. I was kind of afraid it was gonna lean out and blow up on the way home, but it didn't. And then, due to some research and some of you guys commenting, it seems to me that the reason for this is the car was seeing all this boost. Now, let me back up. So I do have a missing link installed on the car, which, if you don't know, it's one-way check valves between a vacuum source intake manifold and your map sensor that's on your throttle body. So essentially you take your sensor off the throttle body, use a block off plate that I had made on the throttle body, and then your map sensor is just loose. You plug you have a vacuum line from your intake manifold to your map sensor, and then in between there you have like 4 one-way check valves. So that prevents, that bleeds off boost before your map sensor sees it. So it wasn't going into limp mode because of that. I don't think. It was going into limp mode because the car was, I think, the O2 sensors were seeing that boost and extra fuel, and it was trying to cut it. It was trying to back it off, and it backed it off. But then when I was driving normal, it was lean. So that's where we're at now. Well, kinda. So when I got home, I put the Y8, so we have Y7 injectors in right now. I got home, I put the Y8 injectors in there, and because it was running lean. So, and yes, I did, before I put the Y8 injectors in there, I reset the ECU and drove it again. It drove perfect until I did a couple pulls, then it was doing this again. So, put the Y8 injectors in there because I'm like, well, it's running lean. The Y8 injectors make it run rich. And right now it's running good with the Y8 injectors. It's rich on the wideband, like when we first installed them. So, but it's running good. So I think what might be happening is that it might still be doing what it was doing, cutting fuel. But since those injectors are so rich, it's still fine on the wideband. So I don't know, maybe this is where I run it. Maybe you guys have ran, because I've had so many of you comment being like, I've had 10 Honda Civics that we ran like this for years and it works perfect. So that's high hopes for me, and it's running good, like I said, right now. So if any of you ran into this issue and you solved it, let me know how you solved it, because right now I feel like I'm looking at two options. One, I get the Y8 ECU, and even then maybe we're back at square one because it's still going to do the same thing. It's still going to run good with the Y8 injectors, but once it sees boots, it's going to cut. So that, or I think in the next video what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower fuel pressure as much as I possibly can to see if it leans it out a little bit to where it's perfect, and then see what happens once we start doing pulls. But that's pretty much it. That's where we're at now. That's what we have done up to this point. I am pretty confident. I mean, I'm 100% confident. Yes, you can turbo your car without tuning it. Is it ideal? No. Is it the best way to do it? I guess that's the same thing as ideal. No, it's not. Are you going to utilize all the power you can? Heck no. But can you do it? Yes. And it's a perfect thing to do if you're just wanting to learn about how to work on cars, learn how to turbo a car, learn how a turbo works. I have learned so much from this. So yes, you can do it. You can continue to be discouraged about spending the money and time and knowledge on tuning it the right way and bypass all that. If this was my daily driver, in all honesty, I say I would not have done this. I would not have done it to my daily driver. But I think that it could be daily driven pretty easily at this point with no issues. So that's it. That's the build. That's where we're at. If you guys have any input on this, please comment down below. A lot of you do, and I love it. It helps me out. It teaches me a lot. And you guys have definitely helped me solve some problems. If anybody has any concerns or questions, comment down below. Me or somebody else will answer them. And yeah, I also want to give a big shout out to Evil Energy, because they've been riding with me for a little while now. And whenever I needed some type of fitting for fueling, and AN fitting, AN lines, even the adjustable FMU, they've sent it right over. Their parts are very budget friendly, but they're good. They're quality. I like them. I'm on a budget build like this. It's absolutely perfect. So big shout out to them. I do have a discount with the discount code with them. I think it might be BB10. Is that right? I'll have to look. I'll pop it up here. I think that's it. And then, yeah, so that's it. Switching the topic before we go, I do have a little bit of, I have some hats and shirts and sweatshirts with BrotherBoost on it. This is kind of the retro style hat. This is a Richardson, but I do have some normal modern day style Richardsons, and then just one's kind of like an oversized t-shirt. I have like a kind of a more fitted t-shirt, makes your arms look good. Then I have a normal Gildan sweatshirt. So check that out and order something from me, because that'd be awesome. Anyway, I hope I was able to kind of help you guys out a bit. I wanted to make this video to just bring everything together, because we've kind of just been doing a bunch of random stuff trying to figure everything out. So I wanted to tie everything together and just leave some stones, leave no stones unturned. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.